for penance. Admiral Edney had leadership roles in the Director of Air Warfare in charge of all naval aviation across the globe. Went on to become the Vice Chief of Naval Operations. That's the #2 admiral in the entire United States Navy. Finally ended up as NATO's Supreme Allied Commander and retired out of that job in 1992. During his service, needless to say, if I recounted all the medals that he earned, we'd be here for a little bit. But I'd like to recount some of the very significant ones. 5 Distinguished Flying Crosses, Bronze Star Medal, 38 Air Medals, as well as Meritorious Service Medal, Legion of Merit, all of the ribbons for heroism in Vietnam, 5,600 hours of flight time in 340 combat sorties, over 1,000 carrier landings. After he retired as a 4-star admiral, he was asked to be on many, many different boards. I found it very significant that the Navy asked him to be in the senior leadership opportunities that are out there, that every once in a while an admiral gets to join one of these organizations. But Admiral Edney has served in all of them. And these are the organizations on the civilian side of the world that develop policy, tactics, programs, advice to the Secretary of Defense, do the studies on wargaming, the great minds of our Navy. Center for Naval Analysis, National Defense University, all of the military universities. Distinguished Professor of Leadership at the United States Naval Academy, in charge of educational services, and also a very select group of admirals get to be the proteges of the Capstone organization. That's the group that when you make admiral or general, you come to the Capstone for your transition process, and they take the very best of the best to mentor and be with you as you're transitioning into the star ranks. I was always very impressed with the people they select. Only the finest American leaders do that. Admiral Edney, as I shared with you, doesn't give a lot of talks these days. He mostly plays golf, and he's a damn good golfer. But tonight, because of how special this group is to him, his background, what he's been blessed to lead in his wonderful career, we're very honored to have him tonight. And I'd like to introduce, without further ado, Admiral Bud Edney, your guest speaker tonight.
Good evening. It's been a long evening. It's really past my bedtime. I want to thank Mac for that introduction. He read it just like I gave it to him. Among the 5 U.S. carrier museums, Midway is the only one that makes a significant profit. This carrier supports veterans' families to support college tuition, expenses, and other needs. The key to success is the leadership of Admiral Mac McLaughlin, along with all of the enthusiastic volunteers and docents. They're an amazing group, and the energy they have. I retired when Midway came on. Now, when I look in the mirror, I can say I'm getting old. Midway gets younger every day, and I appreciate that. When Mac retires, and we hope it'll be many years before he does that, they'll have to hire 3 men to do the job he's done. The Midway Museum welcomes more than 1.4 million customers a year and is the leading tourist attraction in all of San Diego. Midway is blessed by the location they have next to the San Diego's large cruise ship docking and terminal. Many of these passengers are lucky and welcomely come to visit the Midway on their stop in San Diego. Having spent 40 years as a naval aviator, which includes 4 years at the Naval Academy, I wish I could do this life all over again. My success was due to the quality of the troops that I worked for and that worked for me. An operational aircraft carrier is the highest definition of teamwork. The key to success in any profession is that you look forward to every day. I always wanted to be on the flight schedule twice, even when I was in combat. If I was on the schedule once, I was satisfied. If I wasn't on the schedule, I was bitching to the flight schedule officer. When I worked for the Secretary of the Navy, John Lehman, in 1987, he was seeking a 600-ship Navy, which included 15 aircraft carriers. Secretary Lehman got very close to this number. Today in the Navy, we have a total of 293 deployable ships with 10 aircraft carriers. The USS Ford CV-78 will be delivered to the Navy this year at a cost of $13 billion and $4 billion more in research and development for this new class. The USS John F. Kennedy will be delivered in 2024 at the cost of $11 to $12 billion. If you follow the money, you can understand why the Defense Department has not approved the USS Harry Truman's $4 million, midlife overhaul, which is $4 billion, which would give the Truman 20 to 25 more years of service. I personally disagree with this decision. The Congress is seeking a 330-ship Navy. The CNO has recently stated that there is too much focus on the number of ships in our Navy, since today's ships have 5 to 10 times more capability than the older ships that we're used to. The problem that I see is that we need quality and quantity to meet the developments of the fleet commanders, NATO, and the commander of the Central Command in the Middle East. Our Navy has just deployed a carrier strike group to the Persian Gulf to show that force to Iran, which is an international supporter of terrorism, a direct threat to Israel and other U.S. allies in the Middle East. China is developing a global Navy with presence in the Arctic and also in Venezuela, while claiming ownership to Taiwan and the Spratly Islands. We need more U.S. Navy presence to ensure the Crimean Peninsula and such of the Ukraine, which Russia has occupied, while supporting the regime in Bashar al-Assad in Syria. We have 2,000 troops in Syria supporting the opposition Kurdish Free Syrian Army. In reality, the Kurds want to eventually create a Kurdistan carved out of parts of Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. I personally do not believe that we should keep permanent troops in Syria and Afghanistan. When you look at these issues, it is clear to me that our Navy needs quality and quantity to support our interests overseas. Let me close by thanking all of the troops here, many of them are heroes, for your service. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.